How you doing, everybody? Tim here once again, a view from the South Stands. I'm coming to you on Sunday evening after what was an interesting night for both myself and for Toronto FC, and for those that support Toronto FC. If you were crazy enough to, stay up late and watch the game, let me first tell you about my night. Last night, a good friend of mine was celebrating her birthday, and I live in the Ossington Bloor area in downtown Toronto, and there's a little place that has a monthly sort of 80s party, which I go to from time to time. And our friend decided to go there for her birthday, so we had a few people over at the house before we left for drinks, and then the plan was to go, at least I was going to go after the TFC game was over at 10:30, meet everybody over there and have a good time, have a few drinks and have a bit of fun. So, 10-15 seconds in, just what everybody thought, I think, was going to happen, and the worst case scenario happened. We saw Greg Vanney playing players out of position. We saw Nick Hagland taken to school by arguably Dallas's most dangerous player, Fabian Castillo. Everybody with even a basic modicum of understanding of this sport, and I don't classify myself as anything more than just an average fan, but even I saw that going into this game with the defensive frailties that Toronto FC has actually been experiencing lately, that was going to be the issue. And bang, 18-20 seconds in, that might be the fastest goal the team has ever conceded. Or if not, it's definitely one of them. The Reds are down 1-0. They're down 3-0 before the skies open up, and we have another game against Dallas, this one away instead of home, that has the potential of being rained out due to torrential downpours and thunderstorms. So I hung around for a little bit, and then I kept getting texts from the spouse saying, "Tim, where are you? Where are you? Are you coming? What's going on?" I said, "Okay, screw it. They're not going to play this game," and I headed out. So we had some fun, and I had a few drinks, and I got home at around just a little after 1. I flipped on the TV, and I'm like, "You're shitting me. They're actually starting the game." So I actually saw the entire thing. And some of my tweets last night while I was watching the game were sort of tweets of intoxication. So again, some of them I thought were pretty well on the mark. Some of them might have been a little off the mark, but I was really well lubricated by that time. And where's the positive? The only positive, of course, is Sebastian Giovinco. I tweeted this last night, and I think I mentioned it in my last video presentation in this space as well. By himself, he will win Toronto FC points this season that they do not deserve, and he almost did just that for Toronto FC last night by scoring 2 goal of the week, goal of the month, goal of the season worthy candidates. A beautiful free kick and a cheeky little tap in as well. A couple of sublime bits of skill. I saw him yelling at teammates last night for service. I saw him getting knocked around, and still by some big players and some big bruising athletes in this league, and yet he still kept coming back for more. He's a fabulous player that we almost don't deserve, to be honest with you, considering what's going on around him. And what's going on around him right now is it's Greg Vanney. The jury is still out for me on him. I think it's a little early to completely throw him under the bus just yet, but the part that was most disturbing about last night's game more than anything else is Toronto FC had 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, to prepare for this game. There was a bye week. They had 2 full weeks to come up with a game plan, knowing how Dallas plays, knowing that the Reds had significant weaknesses displayed, and gaps open up and goals scored coming down that right flank week after week after week. And what happens is 2 goals in 20-odd minutes, one of them in less than a minute, 45 minutes, the game is over for all intent and purposes. The heroics from Sebastian Giovinco notwithstanding. That, to me, is the biggest concern. The biggest concern, obviously, is the fact that the defensive record that this head coach has actually accumulated in his time at TFC, and I'm including the run-in last year as well, is, well, it's the worst in the league. And it's the worst in the league right now on a goals per game basis. The Reds are shipping 2 goals a game. They're scoring goals, but they're not scoring enough goals, obviously, to overcome road games where you're shipping 2 and 3. So if you look at Coach Vanny's record, and this is including after taking over from Ryan Nelson last September, what do we have? We have 3 wins, we have 2 draws, and we have 10 defeats. Of those games, only 1 shutout. That shutout was against Chivas USA. This was after Chivas USA was given the death sentence by Major League Soccer, where they were last in the league and they were playing out the string and had nothing to play for. That was the only team that Toronto FC, under Greg Vanney, was able to shut out. Was a team that was moribund, to say the least, that didn't really give a shit, excuse my language, when I actually saw them play that day. That's the only team that the Reds have been able to keep a cleanie in. During games that Mr. Vanney has coached, the Reds have scored 17 goals and conceded 26. Right now, only Philadelphia has conceded more goals than TFC this season. They've conceded 13, I believe, but they've done that in 8 games rather than 5 games. So where does that leave us? That leaves us with this nasty road trip. Finally, the end is nigh, so to speak. We've got games against Orlando away next Sunday on American National TV. And we've got, of course, the Philly Union, fellow MLS strugglers, the Philly Union, the following week. So again, early on in the season, I said 9 points out of these games would be something to build upon, and I'm sticking to that. If the Reds can actually find a way right now to plug the dike at the back, to get some points and actually secure a couple of road wins, they're going to set themselves up, hopefully, for a pretty decent run up into May and June. And I'm going to get to May and June and the silly friendly against Manchester City in my next post. Then I'll be talking about the next game and all of that stuff down the road. So again, only one positive. There were way too many passengers last night. Michael Bradley, I'm not seeing the Michael Bradley for the U.S. national team be the same Michael Bradley that's playing for Toronto FC. It almost seems like he's coaching the team from time to time, and not Greg Vanney. I don't know what the sort of power structure is within the team or within the dressing room. But boy, it really definitely needs to change sooner rather than later. I really pray to God that Mark Bloom is well enough to play. Who'd have thought that a guy on 50, 60 grand a year would be such a key player for Toronto FC? That's Major League Soccer for you, of course, in the salary cap league. He's going to be absolutely key to, I think, plugging that massive hole on the right side of the defense for TFC. And how do I even say this? I don't want to throw Greg Vanney under the bus, but I'm coming back to what I said earlier on, and this is the takeaway that I hope that some of the journalists and the beat writers that cover this team, that go to the training ground and are able to talk to the coach, I really hope that they are asking this question. You had 2 weeks to get ready for Dallas. You knew that Castillo was going to be their focal point, and yet something that every single person almost on earth that knew about this game was aware of, you didn't seem to take into consideration. And I'd really like to hear him actually come out and say why that happened and what went wrong and what he plans to do immediately to fix things, because this season is going to get off the rails real quickly if he doesn't find a way to plug that back line. The only other thing I could suggest is maybe start finding fullbacks if they cross the bloody center line, because I've had it with the fullbacks bombing on and balls coming in over the top, whether it be the Vancouver game, whether it be the Salt Lake game, whether it be in particular the game last night against FC Dallas. That's the weakness. That's giving TFC the worst defensive record in Major League Soccer so far this season, and that's what needs to change immediately if this team is actually going to do anything this season up to what we all hope and expect them to do. Again, thank you very much for watching. Come on, you Reds, let's get this turned around and I'll have another video post up on Sunday after the Orlando game. Thanks for watching and have a good week. Cheers.